You might have to wait a long time.
Hello everyone and welcome to my stream. I'm DC. I'm a TTRPG actual play producer, streamer, and moderator. You can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky at DC Lasair. Really, everywhere, DC Lasair. Type !DC into chat, get a link to DCLasair.com, that's DCLASAIR.com, for a link to all my links. DCLasair.com is powered by Doris.to, new link in bio site. You can check them out by typing !Doris in chat for my affiliate code. If you sign up, and we have a new freebie code as well. Let's see, why isn't that working? Well, one moment, please, while I do a thing. Wants to trick me. So if you type !Doris in chat, you get my affiliate link, and if you use the discount code ISACOMING for 50% off for 6 months of pro, I get some of that subscription. So yay! A way to support me, and check out link in bio site, you know, if you want to. It'd be handy. And then my website is all right here. And I am... I still have music going. There we go. Let's turn that off. I thought I hit the music button. But that's a good point to bring into it. It is Tech Friday. Yay. Glad to see you. Who do we have here so far? JD, welcome. Steven, hello. Thank you for the resub. Rex, hi. Welcome on in. Glad to see you. First thing I want to talk about, though, is I did switch over to using Tidal from Spotify because Tidal made a change at the beginning of this month. And that was they're down to 2 pricing structures. And they're now about the same price as Spotify. And so for the same price, I get higher quality sound. The Lofi Girl is still on there. By the way, when I'm playing a track now, if you hit !song, it'll bring up the song title for you. So yeah, get the song title and the artist. So yay. And since the widget I was using to display audio doesn't do title yet, I got the little bars you see up there moving. So there's some neat little movement thing going on. And I did this for a couple of reasons. One, higher quality audio for the same price as Spotify, essentially. 2, Tidal will better support independent artists. So if I can help with that, with my little subscription, yay. That'd be great. Now, I'm not always going to be able to take advantage of hearing that higher quality audio just because, you know, my phone speaker isn't that tremendous. Or my, my computer speakers are only so good, right? But it's still going to be better than what I would have gotten off Spotify. And then for podcasts, I have switched over to using an app called Pocket Casts. And so that has been very handy. I really like Pocket Casts. They do a neat free tier thing, and keeps better track of where you were in the podcast than Spotify did. So yeah, I switched over for those reasons. So far, I'm happy with it, and I'll probably figure that out in a month or so. Let's see here. Let's get into topics. First thing I want to talk about, because I'm preparing an office space over yonder that y'all can't see because it's still being built. There's a wall, floor going in, and everything, and the room is echoey. So I need sound panels in there to reduce that, to absorb the sound. So they're soundproofing, right? Where we don't let the sound come in and out. Oh yeah, I've been using Pocket Cast for maybe a decade. Still does exactly what you need. Yeah, Pocket Cast is nice. I really like it. And yeah, the way it finds stuff, it's just a better experience overall. So sound, right? I was on sound. So they're soundproofing, preventing the sound coming in and out. And then when you're in a space, such as your streaming space, you'll want to absorb that sound. And that's what things like sound panels are for, and laying down a carpet and everything, because otherwise your voice is going to echo around you and echo back into your microphone, and it's just going to sound weird. And I noticed in building this new little room that I walk in there and start talking, it's very echoey. So I'm going to need to put in some sound panels. Elgato has a solution, which I'll probably go with, they're just called panels, I think. Where are they in their product lineup? Yeah, there we go. So they have these things called panels. There's a bunch of other solutions to do it too. But if I go with panels, they come with their own frame, and I don't have to build a wood frame for these. And they absorb sound. And that's very handy to stop your voice from coming from every corner of the room and reflecting back into your microphone. So yeah, if I get those, I'll show off this space once it's done. It might be another month yet because there's still a bit to do. Got the floor in, but got put in the carpet, and then haul everything in there and finish painting, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, so sometimes people talk about soundproofing. They might mean sound absorption when they do that. And I've talked about things like this before, like preparing your space for a microphone. And if you're using a wood floor, a tile floor, put down a carpet, heck, even a bed or a couch in a room, or a chair will help absorb sound. Not like a wooden chair, but one made with fabric and things will help absorb sound and cut down on that echo. And that's what you're looking for. But yeah, so I'm going to be putting up some sound panels, whatever I decide to use. They'll be over, I got to point the right way for y'all. So they'd be on this side of me, possibly behind where I'm going to have my green screen, maybe even on the ceiling. And then I'll probably put some on the opposite wall as well, just to help absorb sound, because again, I want to sound good for y'all. So yeah, and I had been seeing some confusion too over sound proofing versus sound absorption, so I also wanted to take a moment and clear that up. All right, let's get into some products here. The first thing I want to talk about is NAB 2024. NAB stands for National Association of Broadcasters. And in the here in the US anyway, it's a big industry show, and lots of things are released for independent studios. But some of our favorite companies in the streaming space also release products. And some of the technology we see for big studios or even smaller indie studios will trickle down into our spaces. So I wanted to go over some of those things. If you wanted an overview, I got a recap link for y'all right here. Bam, there you go. Now, so Rode announced at NAB the wireless handheld condenser microphone. They're calling it the Interview Pro. And this is shipping in May. And it uses their wireless technology that they started building into everything last year. And again, doing all the Rode magic that Rode does to its microphones. And so if you're out and doing an interview, it's a way to get good audio while you're talking to someone in a convention center or wherever you happen to be. You could even use it for your streaming setup, but there's the link to that if you're interested. Rode's been doing a lot the last couple years with wireless audio. And there's a button right on this mic for recording and mute. Or, I'm sorry, there's two buttons. One for record, one for mute. It doesn't record and mute at the same time. That'd be weird. But... So yeah, if you're looking at the Rode wireless system, if you're thinking about interviews and things like that, this might be something to put into your travel kit. If you're doing that, you can even send the audio to your phone. And it charges via USB. So, looks fancy, give you some good audio. Good options. All right. Also, Ozbot, which I've talked about a little bit before, they released a new camera. Again, if you're looking at cameras and can afford it, definitely get a PTZ camera, a pan tilt zoom. You can do all sorts of wonderful things with, I can go like this. Woo, zoom in. Let me reset that back to what it was at. Dialing it in. I got to touch a knob. But yeah, I highly encourage these. You can do a lot of neat things with them, even if you're just sitting and streaming like I am. But they released a new one. Let's get that up here. Bam! There you go. Check that out. It's called the Ozbot Tail Air. And it claims auto tracking, 4K resolution. It claims to be a small PTZ camera. So these might also be good if you are in a large building, say a church or something, and you're setting up a production. Put a few of these around and just have the controls in front of you. And instead of having, multiple people doing the camera. And, or if the space isn't very big and you can't physically fit a camera person there, you may want to look into not something like an Ozbot. There's a bunch of different kinds of PTZ cameras. But this has object tracking and person tracking in it. And it can connect through NDI, which is very handy. All right. And then I gotta refresh my mind on what this is. Oh, can you turn off the tracking? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, that should be an option. I would imagine you can. I mean, so on the 360 link here, you can turn off the tracking. or you can turn it on with just a wave of your hand, and it'll track my movements around. I mean, you can even add in tracking to if you use NVIDIA Broadcast, they have a tracking thing and does a decent job of following you around. So even if your camera doesn't have tracking, it will shift the image around a bit for you. But yeah, I really like PTZ cameras. There's quite a few of them. Here is another company that I'm not as familiar with called Marshall. They announced some PTZ, pan tilt zoom cameras. Again, claiming flexible, ease of use, all the good stuff. If you need more cameras in a small space, definitely consider PTZ, and find one to stream with too. I have the Elgato Facecam Pro, which does all my, I can pan, tilt, zoom with it just fine. Pan. Ooh, I'm over here now. Ooh, boy. Let's see here. I was there. All right. But yeah, so my charity stream, I'm going to be making use of some of these effects that are just sitting there. It'll be a wild time. By the way, charity stream, May 4th, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on this very channel. Let me get you the tweet. Graphics aren't ready yet, but, calling it Electrum Chef, and it's a parody of Iron Chef using D&D. It should be a fun time. Go there, do the things. And for those photographers out there, there is this company called Tilta, and they made a foldable Arca base plate. So base plate is something you rest the camera on and attach it to the tripod, and it has kind of a plate on the bottom that you slide in and out of the tripod, right? So they made one, kind of looking for photographers in mind. And it has a quick release button, so it's meant to take a camera like this and then whoop, and you just attach it to various tripods. Check out the size. So, if that's got to be a big tripod, little tripod, whatever. But they made a new one of these, foldable, collapsible. Again, easy to use. You press a button and it, just like that. Has a quick release. So if you have just a tripod and it doesn't have this, and you're interested in making your photo camera do this, by all means, check this out. It's a nice, simple solution to that issue, giving you basically a camera you can flip horizontally with any tripod. All right, what else did I have? Oh, all right, and we're going to break into Elgato in a minute here, but the prompter nabbed a Product of the Year award at NAB 2024. So there's announcement on that. The guy there is the general manager of Elgato. So congrats. And speaking of Elgato, like, I had all these wonderful links set up to talk about NAB and everything. And then yesterday, because I did this Wednesday night. But then yesterday, Thursday, Elgato goes, here's the 5 products we're releasing now under a new thing. I'm like, you know, I spent time getting all set for Tech Friday. I was like a day early with my prep, and then surprise, boom, right? Yeah. So we need to talk about the Elgato Neo family, which link right there to the US store. And these are all products around $100. Like they range from $88 to I think $120. And are they meant for streamers like me? Not necessarily, no. If I'm traveling and I need some stuff, be a good use for it. If you're just getting into streaming, this is a way to have some good quality stuff and save a few bucks.